We talk so much about doing, healing, and letting go. But what about receiving? Real transformation begins when we open ourselves to love, help, and abundance without guilt or resistance. In today's episode, we'll explore the art of receiving and how this quiet, powerful shift can change your entire life. Chapter 1. Why we struggle to receive. Most of us want to feel supported. We want love, opportunities, abundance, connection. But when these things show up, something inside us resists. We brush off compliments. We downplay our needs. We push away help. And we quietly tell ourselves, I should be able to handle this on my own. But where does that belief come from? Many of us were taught that strength means independence, that asking for help is weakness. We were rewarded for being self-sufficient, but not for being receptive. Somewhere along the way, we learned to feel safer giving than receiving, because giving feels like control. Receiving? That's vulnerable. It asks us to open, to be seen, to be held, to be worthy. And that's where the deeper wounds live. We fear that if we receive too much, we'll owe something in return. We fear that receiving makes us dependent, or that we're not enough to deserve it in the first place. So we build walls. Invisible, silent barriers that block out the very things we long for. Love, help, joy, is. And here's the irony. We become experts at giving. We pour into others. We try to be the strong one, the fixer, the caregiver. But deep down, we're running on empty, because we've never learned how to let life in. There's a hidden belief many of us carry. I am valuable because I give. If I stop giving, I lose my worth. But this belief is a lie. You are worthy of love, care, and support simply because you exist. Not because you earned it. Not because you're useful. Not because you never complain. But because you are human. Receiving doesn't make you weak. It makes you whole. And when you begin to see the ways you block it, when you gently start to lower your walls, you realize that receiving is not passive. It's powerful. It's a conscious, courageous choice to let life flow back into you. To say yes to being nourished. Yes to being supported. Yes to being loved. So in this chapter, ask yourself gently, where am I resisting the very things I say I want? What would it look like to let them in? Because until we learn to receive, we're only living half the story. Chapter 2. The difference between giving from depletion and giving from overflow. Let's talk about something that might sound noble on the surface but can quietly drain your soul. Giving from depletion. Many of us were taught, explicitly or subtly, that love is proven through sacrifice. That being a good person means giving until it hurts. And if you're not hurting a little, you're probably not giving enough. But here's the truth. Giving from depletion isn't generosity, it's self-abandonment. When we give from a place of depletion, we're often trying to earn love, acceptance, or safety. It's like saying, if I keep pouring into others, maybe they'll see me, value me, or finally give back. But that's not true giving. That's a transaction, one we didn't even realize we were making. And the cost? It's huge. Resentment, exhaustion, burnout, disconnection from ourselves. Now compare that to giving from overflow. Giving from overflow happens when your own cup is full, when you're nourished, grounded, and connected to your worth. In this state, giving becomes a natural expression of joy and abundance, not an act of desperation or duty. There's no hidden agenda. You're not giving to get something back. You're giving because it feels aligned and authentic. Because your love, your energy, your time, they're flowing from a place of fullness. Here's a metaphor that helps. Imagine a tree. If the roots aren't nourished, the fruit withers. But when the tree is well fed, sunlight, water, good soil, it naturally produces fruit that others can enjoy. No strain, no stress, just natural generosity. So ask yourself honestly, when I give, am I draining myself to do it, or am I sharing what's already overflowing? The answer might surprise you. And this is where receiving comes in. Receiving replenishes your inner well. It restores you so that you can give with a whole heart. If you resist receiving, whether it's love, rest, help, or abundance, you are slowly cutting off the very source that allows you to give in the first place. There's no badge of honor in martyrdom. There's no spiritual prize for running on empty. In fact, the most powerful, spiritually aligned people are those who receive deeply and give wisely. They know their limits. They understand that being generous with others starts with being generous with themselves. So today I invite you to reflect. What would it look like for you to give from overflow? What needs to be nourished within you before you offer yourself to others again? Because true generosity isn't about losing yourself. It's about sharing your fullness, and that begins with the sacred act of receiving. Chapter 3. receiving as an act of trust and surrender. Receiving isn't passive, it's powerful. And yet, for many of us, it can feel terrifying. Why? Because to truly receive, we must let go. Let go of control. Let go of self-protection. Let go of the belief that we always have to be the strong one, the giver, the caretaker, the one who has it all together. At its core, receiving is not just about taking something in, it's about trusting. Trusting that life can surprise you in beautiful ways. Trusting that you are worthy of good things without having to earn them. Trusting that you don't always have to know the how, the when, or the why. And most importantly, trusting others. For many people, especially those who've been hurt or let down, receiving feels like a risk. A risk of disappointment. A risk of being seen in our vulnerability. A risk of being dependent or perceived as weak. So instead we armor up. We say, "I'm fine," when we're not. We push away compliments. We say, "No thank you," to help we secretly crave. We downplay our dreams. We keep our needs hidden even from ourselves. But here's the truth, receiving is an act of courage. It's choosing to open when it would be easier to close. It's choosing surrender over control. It's saying, "I trust that I don't have to do this all alone." And let's be clear, surrender is not weakness. It's not giving up. Surrender is alignment. It's the moment we stop forcing and start flowing. It's when we allow the universe, God, or whatever higher force you believe in, to show up and support us in ways we couldn't orchestrate ourselves. Receiving becomes spiritual when we stop trying to micromanage our blessings and start welcoming them. So ask yourself, what have you been pushing away out of fear of surrender? Love that feels too good to be true? Opportunities that feel too big for you? Support because you're afraid it might not last? Sometimes life is trying to give us more, but we're still gripping tightly to old beliefs, old pain, or old identities that tell us we're safer in lack. But there's a deep spiritual truth here. The more you trust, the more you receive. Not because life suddenly changes, but because you change. You become open, aligned, available. Let receiving be your practice of surrender. Say yes to love when it's offered. Say thank you instead of brushing off praise. Accept help without guilt. Let go of needing to have it all figured out. Because the moment you stop resisting the flow of life, you step into a greater rhythm. One that's not just about surviving but about truly thriving. And that begins by choosing today to trust again. To soften. To open. To receive, not because you're broken or needy, but because you are human and worthy. Always have been. Chapter 4. Spiritual and emotional practices to expand your capacity to receive. Now that we've explored the power of trust and surrender, let's talk about how you can practically expand your capacity to receive. Because receiving isn't just a mindset shift, it's also a practice. A daily invitation to open your heart, your energy, and your life to more. And like any spiritual practice, it begins within. Let's start with the body, because receiving isn't just mental or emotional, it's physical. Have you ever noticed how you tense up when someone gives you a compliment or offers help? Your shoulders rise, your breath shortens, your body closes off. So, the first practice is somatic awareness. Start checking in with your body when someone offers you something. Love, kindness, even a gift. Do you shrink, deflect, or contract? Or can you breathe, soften, and say, "Yes, I receive this"? You can try a simple daily ritual. Each morning or evening, place your hand over your heart and whisper, "I am open to receive with ease. I trust that I am worthy of love, support, and abundance." Say it until your body believes it. Say it until it softens. Second, mirror work. This is powerful and deeply emotional. Look into your own eyes and say, "You don't have to earn it. You're allowed to receive simply because you exist." Watch what comes up. Tears? Resistance? Laughter? Let it all move through. This is healing. This is expansion. Third, cleaning out old beliefs. So many of us are still running on subconscious programs like, "I have to prove myself first. If I receive too much, something bad will happen. I shouldn't need anyone." To shift this, use journaling as a tool for release and reprogramming. Ask yourself, what did I learn about receiving growing up? When was I taught that asking for help meant weakness? Where do I still believe I'm not enough? Write it out without judgment. Awareness is the first step to change. Fourth, energetic boundaries. Sometimes we can't receive because we're too drained by what we're giving. So ask, where am I leaking energy? Who or what am I saying yes to out of obligation? Create space. Set limits. Protect your energy so that when real love or abundance shows up, you have room for it. And finally, the fifth practice, gratitude with full presence. Most people practice gratitude by listing things they're thankful for, and that's beautiful. But I want you to try a deeper version. Receive your gratitude. Instead of saying, I'm grateful for my home, feel the shelter, smell the safety, breathe in the warmth. Instead of saying, I'm grateful for love, remember the last hug you got, the last time someone truly saw you. Feel it again. Let it in. Gratitude isn't just a practice, it's a portal. The more you feel what you already have, the more life says, you're ready for more. So breathe this in. You don't have to chase. You just have to open. With each small practice, whether a breath, a boundary, or a belief shifted, you're expanding your capacity to receive. And that, in itself, is an act of love. Chapter 5. How receiving helps others too. It's not selfish, it's connective. Let's flip the script. We often think that receiving is selfish, that it's indulgent, that it somehow makes us weak, needy, or dependent. But here's the truth. Receiving isn't a one-way street, it's a bridge. When you allow yourself to receive with grace, you're not just helping yourself. You're giving someone else the gift of giving. Think about the last time you did something kind for someone. A favor, a gift, a compliment, even just your presence. Do you remember the joy you felt? That warm, fulfilling sense of I mattered. I made a difference. That's what you're giving to others when you allow them to show up for you. But when you block receiving, when you say, I'm fine, even when you're not, when you wave off help, or when you reject love, you unintentionally send the message. You don't get to matter to me. I don't need you. I won't let you in. And that's not strength. That's disconnection. We were never meant to do this life alone. Human beings are wired for interdependence. A beautiful dance of giving and receiving, offering and opening, supporting and being supported. By learning to receive, you become more connected, not just to others but to life itself. Imagine someone gives you a heartfelt compliment, and instead of deflecting with a joke or brushing it off, you look them in the eye and say, thank you. That means so much to me. That moment? It's not about ego. It's about intimacy. It's about letting someone see you, touch you emotionally, and matter in your world. Receiving also models what healthy vulnerability looks like. When others see you accepting support, asking for what you need, or embracing abundance without guilt, they learn that it's okay for them to do the same. You become a permission slip, a mirror of possibility. And let's talk spiritually for a moment. When you refuse to receive, you block the divine flow. You're essentially saying to the universe, I don't trust you to take care of me. I'll handle everything on my own. But when you receive openly, joyfully, humbly, you say, I'm part of something bigger. I'm open to miracles. I allow life to bless me. And those blessings ripple outward. Because the more you receive, the more you have to give, not from lack or duty but from overflow. You become someone whose very presence nourishes others. So no, receiving isn't selfish. It's not indulgent. It's connective. It's sacred. It's necessary. And the next time someone offers you love, support, or kindness, remember this. By receiving with openness, you're not taking. You're saying, yes, I accept this exchange of love. I welcome connection. I believe we're meant to rise together. Let that be your legacy, not a lone warrior who never needed anyone, but a radiant soul who let love in and allowed others to matter deeply. As we close today's episode, I invite you to take a deep breath and soften. Let go of the pressure to carry it all alone. Let go of the belief that you must always give without ever receiving. You are worthy of love, support, help, and abundance, simply because you exist. Let that truth settle into your heart. If this episode spoke to you, if it made you feel seen, supported, or a little more open, please share it with someone you care about. A friend, a partner, a soul on a similar path. Because when we learn to receive together, we rise together. Thank you for being here. Until next time, stay open, stay soft, and stay connected.